Shanara, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing today, Dionna?
Good. You know what? Before we met today, actually the other day, I went grocery shopping.
Okay.
And you know what? It hurt my heart. In this economy, I can barely afford anything.
You can't afford to
I mean, I can, but I end up paying more than I should.
Yes.
So in today's episode, we're going to just call In This Economy.
Yes.
And inflation. And anybody who has to buy something knows what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
So I figured, Shanara, to get us started, we're going to play a little game, okay?
Okay,
So
I
let me
like
dig in my
games.
notes. Let me dig in my notes.
Games. I don't get to play games that
You
much.
know, I said I went grocery shopping yesterday. I'm going to ask you the price of a few items, and I want you to tell me if you know how much these things cost, okay? So this is based off of nationwide.
Okay.
So, Miss Shanara, what do you think the price of eggs are? Average price of eggs.
Average about $4, $5.
Oh, you be shopping at the good stores. Yeah, I can
Mm.
tell. You're a little bougie. So yes, if you go to the higher end stores, it's about $4. But nationwide, we are in Chicago, so things are higher for us.
Right, $3.
Yeah. So about $3. You're pretty good. Okay. The price of white bread, not the fancy bread, not multi-grain, just normal, average white bread. Do you even eat white bread?
I don't.
Me either. But
Okay.
so guess.
So white bread, maybe $2.
Maybe $2. Okay. According to this survey, it's $1.79. Okay. All right. She knows what she's talking about. Whole milk.
Yes,
This
milk.
is a tough one.
That's
Milk.
a tough one because it depends on where you're shopping. I'm gonna say about $4.
Wow, $4.15.
Okay, look,
You do your own grocery shopping, don't you?
I do.
I can tell. I can
do.
tell.
But I don't buy whole milk.
I don't either. But don't
Okay.
you feel like milk should be at least like under $2?
I think it should be $1.99 a gallon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Final one. I know you're a vegetarian, but wait, no, you eat chicken, right?
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
No, I do not eat chicken. Pescatarian.
Okay. Well, then this may not be fair. But
How much is chicken?
Yes.
I have no clue. Let me just guess. Oh no! Like I did see chicken wings because when you're having a party, you're buying for other people.
Yes.
Like chicken wings at one point was like $10 for the whole package. I don't know if the prices went down. I'm not checking. I don't know.
Yeah. So, roughly, not the wings. Wings do cost more.
Yes.
But the average price of chicken per pound is about $2.30.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
And that includes the parts people really don't want. So people, a lot of people
The thighs and the legs.
people don't eat dark meat anymore. So it's you know what, Shanara, I guess you are really informed when it comes to pricing. And I guess that's useful with you being a real estate agent, right?
Yes.
The other thing I noticed while grocery shopping is that everything is shrinking and getting smaller.
Now that, yes.
That's called
Absolutely.
shrinkflation. Cereal boxes are getting smaller.
Yes.
Orange juice is getting smaller.
Yes.
Which transitions to our main topic today is in this economy, can you afford to buy a house?
Can you?
So, Shanara, you being a real estate agent, and that's witnessed by the fact that your phone never stops ringing. I can never do anything with this woman without her having her devices on. So, I don't want to take away from your answer, but in this economy, with the price of eggs being what they are, with the price of milk being what it is, can people afford to buy houses? Yes or no? Just give us a yes or no answer.
I'm going to say yes.
Really?
I am.
So with inflation being the way it is and your answer being yes, is it fair to say it's impacting home buyers?
Absolutely.
I'm going to let you speak on that, and then I'll give you my 2 cents.
So the cost to buy a house has increased. Absolutely. Absolutely. But let's look at that from the flip side. The cost to rent has drastically increased as well. So the cost of living has increased, right? And so if you're going to pay $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month to rent an apartment, you can buy a house.
So what you're saying is that due to inflation, you're going to pay more anyway?
You're going to pay more anyway.
So my rent's going up, so I should buy a property?
Your rent is going up, and there's no return on your investment from renting.
Could you speak more on that? What do you mean?
So if I get into a jam, if I get into a financial jam, I have been a loyal tenant to my landlord, and I've been renting for 10 years. I've never been late on my rent. My landlord gets his rent on time, and I have run into a jam.
Okay.
Do you think I can ask my landlord for a loan on some of that money I paid for the last 10, 15 years? Absolutely not. And your landlord wants their money.
Wait. Let's role play this. I'll be the tenant. You be the landlord. Dear landlord, I have come across hard times. I have faithfully been paying rent to you for the past 5 years of approximately close to $2,000. Can I please have some of that money back? I need to fix my car. Signed, sincerely, your tenant.
I'm so sorry to hear what has happened to you. But unfortunately, I have bills too, and I cannot afford to pay those bills, pay my bills and pay the bills here. So unfortunately, I'm going to need you to pay your rent. Figure out how you're going to pay your rent.
I don't like you.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now you're trying to tell me that there's a difference if you're a home buyer.
Absolutely.
So what's the difference?
Because when you're paying on your mortgage, you are building equity in your house. So in the event, and you pray that you don't have to go there, but life happens, like life be lifing, right? So in the event, you've paid down on your mortgage for 15 years, you've paid it on time, you've even put a little extra, one extra payment a year. You know, you're not 7 years off a 30-year mortgage if you just make small itty bitty extra payments towards the principal. Guess what? I've got equity built up. And as long as I've taken care of my bills and done things, I can tap into there if I need to in the state of an emergency. With speaking in terms of inflation, that helps you as a homeowner having that stake where if inflation takes place, then that means the value of your home has increased and you have more equity. You almost have a bank in your home.
So you're saying the payments I've been making monthly in my mortgage, I can kind of get some of that back as a loan?
Absolutely.
And that's what you're referring to as equity?
Yes. So it is called a HELOC. It's called a home equity line of credit. You can get it in terms of a line of credit. You can get it in terms of a lump sum. Absolutely.
All right. So that is a pro. Those people are looking for you, Shanara. These home buyers that you're helping are consistently calling you. When we do our podcast, inform your loyal clients that you are on the case. So you've already told us there's a benefit to being a home buyer. I'm skeptical that I can buy a home. It's one thing for me to pull together that $2,000 whatever dollars a month to pay rent. How am I going to pull that money together to buy a house? I just told you the price of eggs is crazy.
Yeah.
My cereal box is shrinking.
Yes.
My orange juice is tiny. How am I going to buy a house?
How you going to pay your rent?
I live check to check.
So, let me just say this. Homeownership is not for everyone. It's not, right? And maybe today it's not, and maybe one day it will be, right? However, if you're asking someone who is big on numbers, I'm a numbers girl. So if you're asking somebody who's big on numbers, what is best from a building long-term general wealth perspective, purchasing a home is better to me than renting. That's my opinion. There are other opinions that say differently, right? Because technically, owning a home can also be viewed as a liability as well, right? Like it's a bill. And even when you pay the mortgage off, you still have a bill. You still have taxes. You still have insurance, right? But you still have to pay to live anyway, right? Like you can't live anywhere for free unless you're living with your parents or family and you don't have to pay anything and God bless you, you know, but the fact is you're going to have to pay. Which route is going to be more beneficial for you in the long run?
Absolutely. So the question was, how can you afford to buy a home in this economy?
In this economy.
So I'm going to try to answer that question, okay?
Mhm.
So I'm going to talk to the camera because this message is for someone who thinks that they can't afford to buy a home. Have you been on vacation? Have you gotten your hair done? Have you been to a basketball game? Have you invested in extracurricular activities? These tend to be things that are called discretionary income. And if it's something worth having, you may have to evaluate your budget and reevaluate those discretionary income spending to get to the dream of home ownership. Anything worth having is worth working for. Anything worth having is worth saving for. And that could be real estate for you. So just like Shanara said, you're going to have to pay to live somewhere anyway. You might as well adjust your lifestyle temporarily to get that down payment for a home. You've been on those trips. You've bought a car. You got your nails done. What else folks to be doing, Shanara?
We get our hair done.
We
get our lashes done. We get our eyebrows done. You go get a haircut.
Absolutely. And I want you to keep doing those things. I don't want you looking like, a zombie or a White Walker out there looking crazy. I want you to be put together. But
you go to Starbucks every day and spend $10.
Not saying you can't have those things. It's just evaluate the budget.
Yeah.
In this economy, we all know times are hard and times are rough. But the reality is you need to live somewhere. We all
have
do.
to live somewhere.
And like I said, unless you're in a multi-generational home, which one day we'll have a topic on. I'm not against multi-generational homes, meaning that multiple generations in a home.
Yes.
Not everybody can do it. I may not want to live with my aunt, cousin, sister, brother.
And some of us are doing it and don't want to do it.
My point is that depending on where you are in your life, it's not a bad idea to sit down and think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say automatically, I cannot afford to buy a home.
Absolutely. And in terms of the down payment, let's speak on that. Mm-hmm. There are programs, there is assistance that will help you with the down payment. That does not mean spend your money how you want to because you'll tap into down payment. Because an underwriter is going to look at behaviors.
What is an underwriter?
That is the person who behind the scenes looks at all your stuff and makes the determination on whether or not you should have this house. So they're going to look at your spending habits. They're going to look at all of those things. So if you're spending all of your money and you can't save, then that is dinged as a negative, right? So let's say you make a lot of money and you don't pay that much in rent. Like maybe your rent is $900 a month. And your new mortgage payment is going to be $22 a month. That's called income shock in terms to an underwriter. And so if you are spending everything and you can't save, the underwriter is going to say, how can they afford to buy a $2,200 house when they're having a hard time spending $900 on rent? So just make better choices.
Absolutely. And one day we'll talk more about a loan officer and a mortgage and getting approved for a loan. But again, we're saying in this economy, things do seem rough, but it is possible to buy a home. Shanara, with you being a real estate agent, is there any piece of advice you tell your potential clients when they're talking this through with interest rates and inflation?
I do. So I say, like you just said, it's sacrifice. You have to sacrifice for the long-term gain, right? So it's just like try to save a little, try to spend less, keep your credit cards, at least try to get your credit cards below a 30%, at a 30% credit utilization rate, right? So if your limit is $1,000, you shouldn't spend more than $300 on that card. If you can go lower, great. But at least just try to show financial stability when it comes to that. Take a little bit and put in savings. Just show that you're saving something and not spending everything. And guess what? There are down payment assistance programs. There's assistance that you can get from sellers. There's so many resources. But that's going to entail on your agent assisting in that, making sure that they're negotiating on your behalf.
This is so true. So I guess the takeaway of today's topic is that it is possible to buy a home. And it's worth exploring. So, what is that called? Negative self-talk or just not thinking anything's possible? Explore it. You may not be able to buy a house today, maybe not even tomorrow, but maybe next year. And you won't know this until you explore your options and open up your mind to those opportunities.
And you don't need a 700 credit score either, right? So it's those things. I got to get my credit score up. Or don't think because your credit score is 700, you qualify for more money. That's not how it works. So just get in touch with myself, your lender, anybody to help you walk through that process to just understand and have a conversation beforehand so you can prepare later.
I don't know if the mics were picking this up, but during the course of this conversation, Shanara's phone was blowing up. So that just leads me to believe Shanara's having this conversation with quite a few people who are in the process of buying homes.
Yes.
So let's wrap it up. Shanara, how about you tell us who you are and where they can find you?
So I'm
who are you, girl? Who I've been talking to for the past 16 minutes?
Let me tell you who I am.
Who's she?
I am Shanara Carter. I am your trusted real estate agent, and I can help you buy, sell, invest, whatever it is you want to do in the amazing world of real estate.
I know that's right.
And who are you?
I am Dionna Reynolds. I am an attorney, and one of the areas I specialize is in real estate, loving to work with many agents, and Shanara Carter happens to be one that I love working with dearly. So you can reach out to us. I can be found at all my social media handles are as ATTY Reynolds Law, and your social media handles are?
Is at Home with Shanara, SHANARA.
This has been a great topic, Shanara. As always, you always bring so much insightful information. But can you please go silence your phone now?
Bye.
Bye.